YouTube matches 860. Smoking a Savinelli Tundra, the brandy glass shape, with Haunted Bookshop. Out at Shade Swamp Nature Trail. I'll give you a tour of it after I give my little speech. Shade Swamp Nature Trail. The story goes back to 1926 when the state of Connecticut acquired 140 acres in this area, and through subsequent acquisitions, that parcel of land grew to 800 acres, which is massive. I'm filming in like the first 20 acres. Anyway, around 1936, they decided that the land would be used by Connecticut Fish and Game. 1936 was the Depression, and there were a lot of civilian work projects going on at that time. Probably the largest one you might think of is the Hoover Dam project, but there were a lot of smaller things going on to keep people employed, stimulate the economy. So they had people come in here and build animal shelters for fish and game so that they could rehabilitate injured animals and do whatever other stuff they were interested in doing. One of their projects was breeding New England cottontail rabbits, because after colonial times the population of those rabbits dropped as land was cleared for farming. And so they got the place all set up, and Fish and Game did their thing. And unfortunately, the locals started dropping off exotic pets that they could no longer care for. Alligators, monkeys, all those things that you used to be able to get through mail order. And that's how the area got its nickname as being a zoo, because they, find these animals and have to do something with them. There's even a story about a circus that was in town, the next town over. I guess the circus went belly up and they wanted to leave their giraffe here. So for whatever reason, around 1960, they ceased operations and turned the 800 acres into recreation. There's a trail that you can follow that way that takes you down in around the swamp and whatnot. It's over a mile So I've had no interest in doing that, but I think you'll find my footage of the animal area pretty interesting. Amazing how long ago it was built and that it's still in somewhat recognizable condition. With that, we'll get right into the tour. So here we are, going into Shade Swamp Nature Trail. I've only been here once, so if I take the wrong turn somewhere, you're gonna have to excuse me. Nice crispy autumn morning this morning. And here is where the trail forks. And you can see over in the distance there, one of the little shelters. We'll take a walk down here. Some leftover bits of something here. Old posts. It's remarkably, whoop, over there you can see another shelter. Remarkably well preserved, considering that it closed down in the 1960s. You'd expect the locals would come here and vandalize it, and I'm sure that there was some mischief here, but it's actually in pretty good shape. Over here you can see one of the cages. And there's a cement kind of shelter in the back where some sort of animal could get out of the elements. All kinds of stuff over here on the right. There's a little something there for Halloween. Somebody left a doll up there. Oh well. Lots of chipmunks running around. Another one over here on the right, with the same kind of little shelter made out of cement in the back. Larger shelters over here, or remnants thereof. We'll take a walk up here and you can see the size of these. Not sure exactly what they would have kept in here, but pretty cool. You can see nature has attempted to take over. Stuff growing right up through the cages. You can see the door there where they would have gone in to feed and clean up. Take a walk over to this next one. I can walk right in this one. Pretty neat. So this is what kept people busy and employed during the Depression, 1934. You gotta think this really stood the test of time. Since it closed down in the 1960s. Kind of a mess there, huh? Then we got a bigger mess over here. This was a larger shelter, I would imagine. All in ruins now. More stuff over here. Beautiful, beautiful area though. I think if you had to be a sick or injured animal, this would be the place to be. Nice vine roof on that cage there. And that is pretty much the end of where they used to house the rehabilitating and dropped off animals. Come down here, and this looks like I think this, if I remember correctly, is like the last evidence of some sort of cage or whatever. Looks like it's a popular spot for drinking. But you figure we've only done a couple of acres walking through here, and there's another 800 off in that direction there, which apparently was the site of a melting hunk of glacier that left a lake behind, which now is just flat land and it gets swampy. So that's the Nickel tour. Thanks an awful lot for joining me.